Hey everyone, Fatty from Pack a Punch Traders here. Going to do a quick video going over my trade and a couple lessons. There was a pretty strong day today in the market, and with that, there's some lessons with it. So let's get into this. Here's my trade, INAB. This was alerted beforehand on Twitter, and it was really between INAB and NBEV in the morning, or NBEV, my bad. Which ended up getting halted here. But early on, got a great call. I was looking for a 33.5 multi-day breakout to test 40 cents, which is pretty much what happened, half a cent off. Um, but really, I didn't trade this one. I decided to go with INAB, and this is what the video lesson is going to be about. And what it came down to is really the demand and the history. In this case here, they're both garbage history. I think they're both low float. Let me take a look here. 18.2 and 143. Never mind, this one's not a low float, but the demand is there. So the demand is there for both plays, but the only difference really is this one's breaking over a candle, over a red candle that has some decent volume behind it early on, especially when this was still, I forgot what it was when the market opened, but they still had to really confirm the breakout to squeeze higher. And one thing we always talk about with these red candle breakouts with some high volume behind it is that you want to be patient. You want shorts to really get sucked into the play, and that goes for all plays, but give a red candle breakout some more time. That is usually an area of conviction for short sellers, especially on a chart that is this bad. So usually any pop with both of these plays are good shorts. So with that thinking, if they fail to break down, I was looking for the move higher for a squeeze. And that's what ended up happening here. We got the open price hold, the confirmation of the breakout. It held the VWAP. So I ended up getting in here right after I tweeted about it. And then from there, just being patient and riding the momentum. Ended up getting to 328. I was expecting 330s to be 40s maybe, but that was really the decision, the thinking behind the decision to choose INAB over NBEV because it was really the history. Because of that one candle, that red candle breakout, where you need to give it some more time, and this one was already moving. So I didn't want to just give up this play while waiting for a play that might not even happen. So took INAB. This one ended up working out and ended up getting halted. I don't know why. There was no news. Oh, filed for bankruptcy here. Okay, yeah. So that's why we take our snipes. I know I made a video lesson going over thinking about bigger picture, but that's not something we usually do. That was just some advice to people who do have the patience and like to hold to see how the whole breakout develops. But yeah, taking that quick move from 33, 34 into the 38, 39 area, that's your move. But yeah, so we'll just keep it short. That's the only trade of today was INAB. There were other plays like PETZ. This one was right out of the watch list from yesterday. Here we had PETZ, NEP, and OLB. This one had a great move. Was looking forward to get the 5. High days 4.99. Absolutely great call there. And there was MGAM early on. That is here continuing. Ended up becoming a high daybreak, open price reclaim late day. I didn't really look at it early on. I saw this as a first green day and also a bounce play after this whole downtrend. So I didn't want to rush it, really. Just give it some time to fail to break down, to end up playing the high daybreak. So early on, I was kind of staying away from it because it was already up decently at what, from 250, 260 to the 430s. So it was already had a decent gap up here. So I wanted this to really figure out which direction it wanted to go in. And at first, it seemed like it died off, but then it couldn't break the mid threes, whole dollar, half dollar area, key area psychologically, and from there it's just gauging the volume, the trend. You get the confirmation of VWAP, the open price, 4, another key area psychologically, and then the high day with the pre-market highs all lined up. This consolidation area here, this is where you should be entering, where you get the confirmation. There was a quick move here if you get it right as it breaks VWAP and open price. There's a quick move, but that, being patient really pays off. You might miss a play here and there, but when it really fails to break down, you get some strong moves out of this. Especially look at the demand on the day and the float. So it really was in favor of the buyers as shorts got their confirmation here, and that's when it really got vertical. And a lesson here as well as how we look at tops, because at first you could probably see this as topping action. Let's get rid of what did happen here so you kind of get a different idea. Here you might be thinking this is topping action, the volume's done, but if you give it some time, it fails to break down, and then what happens? Volume picks up. So that topping action is short term or long term. We usually prefer to sell into that volume exhaustion topping action because we don't know how low the play is going to get, how far that dip is going to go. Is the play going to be over? So it's okay to sell and then re-enter. So this would probably be something where I'd honestly miss this, or maybe even get faked out on this. But it keeps holding a key area. I probably wouldn't be down more than 5% or so, and then I would be adding into this. I didn't trade this. I only had that one trade. But going over this here, I know it's hindsight, but this is really the action we look for. It spikes on strong buying. It fades, holds up on low volume, because if something's holding up and failing to break down with not much force behind it, when it does choose a direction and a lot of volume comes through, and you got a lot of force behind which direction it chooses, this is going to be your base, and it will be a good area to risk off of, as well as judging the plays by the pullbacks. You get to gauge what the strength is like. I've mentioned that multiple times as well, where we're really looking for the momentum. That's really what we're trying to eye here. You see the strength on the way up and not much strength behind the way down, and it's holding up with low energy, and when that energy comes in, it's taken off. So we'll just wrap it up. This actually ended up being a lot longer than I had anticipated, but decent day. Left a lot on the table. It was a pretty strong day. Could have traded a couple more times and made some more, but still glad with my trade. I didn't even really completely go through it. I took it from 254, got out at 303. I don't like selling into weakness, so I did miss my sell here, and by the time I went to sell it, it was already getting down to the 290s down here, so I didn't want to sell it into the strength or into weakness. So I figured once it comes back, it's gonna bounce. They don't typically just spike and then completely die. That does happen, but typically you'll see some solid consolidation near the highs, and a bounce back, maybe a fake out, which is what happened here. But try not to sell into the weakness, and when it reverses, sell into the pop. Another great example of that would be APRN. This was a bad call for me here earlier. I was looking for that 7 break, ended up getting stuffed at 7.5, and this is what we're talking about. So it didn't completely die right away here. So you got the failure, and then you're able, if you were in this, you're able to get out into the pop here. You see that low volume, dead cat bounce, starts really setting the downtrend, and yeah, so. Ooh, we're getting 10 minutes here. Okay, so hope this was useful. Let's just wrap this up. I'm going to make a video lesson right now going over the top plays for tomorrow. So we'll catch you guys later. Have a great one.